All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to be doing a talk today on how to become a software engineer. So I have to introduce myself first. So my name is Tony Nguyen. I completed my computer science degree at the University of Oklahoma back in May 2020, and I'm currently a development engineer with Zinner USA, which is a water and gas meter company. So I'm responsible for developing firmware for water meters and gas meters, and then taking the readings and saving it into our database. And so here's a brief overview of what we're going to be going over today. So it all starts from taking courses, learning a few tools, building small projects, learning more advanced concepts, working on even bigger projects, and then you're comfortable enough to start applying for jobs and internships. So step one, the intro to CS courses. So the purpose of this part is to get a feel of what your interest might be in computer science or software. Is it in blockchains, data science? It could be anything. It's like so many things you can get into. It's like very hard to get good at all of them. And you can only really pick a few that you want to get into. And so there are plenty of free resources to do so. So below, you see MIT OpenCourseWare, where MIT uploads all their lectures, and you can watch it at any time. It's convenient, it's free. Below that, it's also Harvard CS50, which is also a free resource, although you do have to enroll in the class, so you can't really go at your own pace for that. Second step, of course, taking freeCodeCamp courses. So this link right there to freeCodeCamp will lead to this page. So you can see responsive web design certifications, JavaScript algorithms, data structures, front-end development libraries, APIs, microservices. So those are the courses that I recommend because I went through them myself and I think they're really good. I even sometimes use them as a reference when I'm working my day-to-day job. And do not panic. It does not really take 300 hours to actually complete each of these courses. It can actually take a day or less. So step three. So once you've built up a foundational knowledge of the front end and the back end, it's time to start adding some more tools and actually start coding. And so these are the two tools, version control and code editors. So let's start with version control. So version control helps control many different versions of a project. So just imagine if you have a video project and you're editing it, there's like many different files of the same video that are rough draft, and it can get very overwhelming. Well, version control helps with that. It helps manage many different versions of that video, and so that you don't have this huge unorganized mess. And so the most popular version control everyone uses is Git. And once you learn about Git, you can learn about code editors, which is a place to write code. So I'm sure everyone's familiar with Word documents. Well, this is similar to where you write code, but it has useful functions as well, like debugging, running code, and other functionalities. So I recommend getting started using Visual Studio Code because it's very easy to get set up and it's very little configurations. Anybody can do it. So I have the link below to download that. And so step 4, so we're getting somewhere. And this would be one of the key areas to focus on. So this is where you start building a bunch of small projects. And they don't have to be good. They can be very small. They don't even have to work. The thing you need to do here is to actually do something, anything. So one of my first projects I built was this Oreo clicker to the right. And it's built using just HTML, JavaScript, where you just click on that image of that Oreo and the counter above would go up. So it's kind of like that cookie clicker game from a few years ago. And so the reason building small projects is important because it helps you avoid the common trap, which is called tutorial purgatory. And if you don't know what tutorial purgatory is, it's where you're stuck in an endless cycle of just constantly going through and learning through any tutorials. Like, see a programming language you want to learn, a framework, you learn about it, but then you don't really apply that knowledge. And so you forget about it, then you have to go through it again. It's like an endless cycle. So just remember, it doesn't have to be good. You just build something small and you'll be good. And then step 5, once you get comfortable building projects and getting a good workflow, next is learning more advanced concepts, learning data structures and algorithms. And so this is the bread and butter of computer science and software. And so this is the stuff that you might use out in the work field. And this is especially important to learn because a lot of coding interviews nowadays have really hard algorithm problems where they make you solve some algorithm problems. So it's good to get familiarized with it and to prepare for those interviews. So a good resource below is through a school, Princeton University. They offer an algorithms course and it's free, but you do have to enroll in it. So it's not really, you can't really go at your own pace, but it's free though. And then step 6, once you get some data structure algorithms knowledge, then it's time to challenge yourself a bit. Start working on bigger projects. You can build your own project, or you can go to github.com, create an account on there, and just navigate, explore around, and find what projects you want to help contribute to. Then step 7, applying to jobs and internships. Congratulations. Now you have the fundamental knowledge and you have a couple of projects under your belt. Now it's time for the job hunt. And this is where you start creating a resume, creating a job search plan, and then start applying for jobs and preparing for code interviews once you get interviews. But this step right here, you can do this anytime. So anytime during the process, so you can apply anytime you are ready. And so that is it for this talk. Going into creating resumes and preparing for coding interviews, it's going to be way beyond comprehension of this talk. That's like a whole nother talk.
All right, thank you, Tony. It doesn't look like we have any questions yet, but I will post that we're looking for them. So if you have a question, feel free to post them in the Twitch chat or in Slack, and we will relay those along to Tony. And then also you can message him in Slack or chat with us on the call after